All right, so another core piece of our content plan that's different than what so many other people do is create knowledge centers. But it's also the way we do it that's also different. But this is like a hub, a glossary of all the different core terms in your topic, in your main surrounding, commercial intent area. So, for example, for SEO, for us, it would be like, what is a backlink? It would be a lot of the exact videos you probably watched to get here today, which are what is domain rating, what is the content, what is SEO, everything, etc. This is exactly why we do content like this and why everybody should. It helps inform Google of why you're the expert on your area. Obviously, it's implied that if you are selling running shoes, that you know how to be a runner, that you know what types of shoes work for different areas, that we know about all the different materials shoes use. It's implied. But the problem with Google is because there's all these different companies out there, it has to be explicitly stated in order for Google to believe you, to understand, and to trust and follow that information. So that's why it's so critical for us to create these awesome user experience based knowledge centers that really kind of blow out these different topics. And that could be as easy as, why is THC legal in all the different states in the US, all the major cities. It could be literally covering articles about every single one of your different ingredients within your products, just across the board, and writing full pages on that. It could be actually breaking down what the ingredients do by benefits. It can be so many different things. It could be as simple as what is THCO? What is plantar fasciitis? What is a fartlek, which is a type of running, which I just recently learned. But there's so many different other angles that we have to basically cover for Google explicitly so they understand that we know about this because we have a page on our website that describes it. But this is also our answer to backlinks. So backlinks in today's world, like I talked about in an earlier video, they're not worth buying at all. They could actually do a lot more harm than good. The only ones that are valuable are the ones that you can use for other purposes, like if it's Forbes magazine or as an affiliate article, like if you bought a placement in the top 5 best running shoes of 2024 off of like chicagomagazine.com. And that again would probably cost you like $3,000 to get that placement. But like that is a good backlink. So it's really critical that if you're ever buying backlinks, it's because you're doing something else, and that's an ancillary benefit, period. Because if not, you can actually grow them with content. If anyone also, just for the record, I have to say this: if anybody offers you a backlink for like less than $1,000, I would not even look at that or even entertain it. It is fake news, 100%. So it's really, really critical that we can build these backlinks organically and naturally. And how do we do that? By ranking for a lot of long tail keywords that come from this very basic content that a lot of the huge players with massive domain authorities are not writing about. That's critical. So for example, we actually scored a massive backlink from women.com for one of our clients just by creating a bunch of different articles around their main ingredient and then what it was for. So for example, for this one, we did Fully Vital as our client, and they explained in an article that this oil is packed with fatty acids, blah, 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 and that why it's so critical for hair growth, because that's what this editor was actually writing about, basically. So kind of interesting to basically know that you can write about these long tail crazy keywords. Like this is the article we wrote here, Bottom oil for hair growth. And this is what got picked up and got that 70 domain rating do follow link, which means it's super valuable. And this alone actually shot up the SEO dramatically because you can't even buy this level of a backlink. This backlink is as good as it gets, basically. So really, really crazy. But and again, this covers everything else we talked about, like the before and after photos, to shop the products. Like there's the newsletter sign up here, the quiz here. Like we showed them and we helped them build this based on Vegamore, based on all the other big players. So this is exactly what I mean. But this is technically a knowledge center. It could also be a Shopwell article. This concept could be a lot. But for this use case, this is what it was. And this is what we've learned. You can scale these out and you can ultimately, find or get found by these big editorial magazines and companies writing about all these different topics. So by covering your ingredients, by covering all this, it's also our answer to backlinks. So instead of buying backlinks, instead put more content, build more of those apartment complexes for your real estate portfolio. Again, using that analogy from the last video, that is very much like creating more pages on your website for SEO. You're collecting all this rent every single month, but the rent, instead of in dollars right now, it's in organic traffic, which then becomes dollars. And then you ultimately have these like little bitty revenue generating assets all around your website that are also helping you rank higher for your core topics, which could be running shoes. It could be, for example, for them, it was for women's hair care products, for Fully Vital. But there's so many different ways that you can authentically use these knowledge centers to target the huge keywords and boost your whole site with topical authority. Because like we talked about, Google is crawling your entire website. They're not just crawling, one or two pages. They're looking at how holistically you are the expert to the entire topical category of these different products at the end of the day. And for the smaller sites, the more scrappy sites that are newer, probably the people listening to this video, you have to go hard on the content. I'm talking like 15 to 50 articles a month. And yeah, a section of them, a few of them should be knowledge centers. A few of them should be shoppable articles. A few of them should be blogs every single month until you find out based on the data what is working, and you scale out those strategies further. You don't ever stop doing these other ones though. You always need to be creating this type of content so we still satisfy that full funnel of content. So again, knowledge centers can be anything, but they should be focused on user experience and very, very broad topics. Very broad. You're not actually pitching your product unless, of course, you are going to be using those clickable assets like we talked about here in the previous video. You still want to use those throughout these knowledge centers, but these knowledge centers are not necessarily about the products. They're about whatever this main topic is, period. You can, of course, call it out, like little small CTA action areas, which I know we've done here as well. Like for an example, let's look at this one. Like right here, boom, unlock your wellness with focal CBD products. So we can textually call it out. We also call it out in a shoppable image as well. But this is what's really important, is that this article is actually about this type of ingredient, period. It's about how it works, what it is, what are the benefits, and then all the headings are perfectly aligned. And it's well sourced. And all these little small pieces help make it useful and help make it helpful for the user. And that's what Google wants to show to their people. They want to show to their searchers, their consumers, their customers. They want to show that it's helpful and informative. And you can do really cool things with these pages once you kind of get them all built out. You can make really cool, this is not a great example, but you can make really cool like ways to showcase all these ingredients, especially if you're a Shopify site. You can do really cool things to make it an interactive user experience. And that is the future of where these knowledge centers are going. We have a couple examples, but no need to show them here. I'm sure that once you see this now, you will not be able to miss it. A lot of big players use these, and they use these very, very well. But the main too long didn't read version of this is for every single one of your major topics or even minor ingredients, create a separate page for it. Because again, SEO is like real estate. You want a lot of apartments paying you rent every single month. Cool. On to the next one.